In this tool, we're going to be using the width tool to add variety and weight to our strokes. In our previous lesson, we were able to use our pencil tool to create some really nice lines for our robot head. And now we're going to be using our pencil tool or our width tool to kind of finish out this look. And so what we're going to do is we can go ahead and close out this little pencil panel if you have that still open. And we're going to be using this width tool right down here. And so if you don't see it, just hit Shift W and that will pull that up. But you can see that there are lots of other tools down here that we're not going to be getting into. We're just going to be using the width tool. Now, there are some other options that might confuse you whenever you have a stroke selected. So if we had the top of his head selected, instead of uniform, we also have these different width profiles. Now, what's very cool is that if you do create a nice line width using the width tool, that you can actually save it under these width profiles, or you can assign, like let's say we have this top of his head selected. Now our stroke is only set to 1 point. So when we choose something like width profile 1, then it's only going to go up to that 1 point. So you might need to add some more weight to it. But if you're using uniform and we're down at 1 point, if you use the width tool to, let's say, maybe make this bottom part of his helmet larger, all you have to do is just click and drag. And what's great is that it's going to make this bottom portion wider, and it's not going to try and make any of these other parts smaller. And they're going to stay at that 1 point. So I have a lot of control. Now let's say maybe I want the top up here to be a little bit more narrow. I can easily come up to maybe, like let's say where there is a vertex. You can see that I have this option here to kind of pull that line width down. So I can make it larger, but I can also click and move that down. Now let's say that you have, like we'll start with this bottom jaw down here. I'm going to select it so that I can just kind of see where I have some different points. Now, I don't have to add that width where a vertex is. If I want, I can just click and drag anywhere. And so you can see that it will kind of go all around and kind of keep the other parts at one point. But if I click that or I added that line width, and let's say I hold onto the shift tool, I can actually click and move that around. And so you have to kind of keep it down here or around where the width intersects with that stroke. So you can add or just click and move that width around if you didn't get it in the right place. And so don't feel like you have to necessarily have that at the exact point. Maybe you want to experiment a little bit. And so you can easily just kind of click and just hold the shift and move that around. Or another thing you can do is you can click that part you can click where you have added that and you can delete it. So let's say you hated it altogether, you can just click it with the width tool and then just hit delete and it'll go away. But let's go ahead and add that back, maybe down here at the bottom. And then let's move on to our eyes up here. And so with the width tool, I don't even have the eyes selected, but I can just click and drag and create some width here, about like that. I'm also going to add some width to this side. And then for our lines up here, I'm going to use the line width profile. So I'm going to grab both of these, or I'm actually just going to grab one of these, and then maybe I'll grab the other one also. And so I'm using the select tool. So that lets me know that I have both of them selected, all their points and everything. And I'm going to come up to uniform. And this time I'm going to use, let's say, this width profile 2. And I'm going to add just a little bit of weight to that. Now I like the way that looks, but maybe I want to make some edits to it. So I'm going to come and get my width tool. I'm going to make some changes here. So you can see that I actually have some little width profiles that I can edit. So maybe I want to take these and drag these. So I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to drag that width to the end, just like that. So maybe I want the width profile to be a little bit different. Maybe I want it to to be a little bit thicker on just the ends and then kind of be narrow here towards the middle. So if I'm happy with that, so I'm going to get my selection tool and I'm going to select that width that I just made. And I'm going to add to profiles. And I'm going to call it maybe robot face. And so now I can select this other line, come over and choose robot face. Now I've actually created a width profile that I like, and I can come back and assign it wherever I want. So very, very cool way to just create some line width variation for your illustration here. So it looks like we have something going on over here with this, with the lines that we've created. Now, one thing that we can do is make sure that for that stroke that we have, maybe we want to round join that, something like that. Or what we can do is we can grab our width profile or our width tool, and maybe we need to make an adjustment here. So it looks like maybe that width needs to be somewhere else. So I'm going to hold Shift and just drag this down. And then for that little point, maybe I will get my pen tool, and I'm going to hold the Alt key and just click that. So it looks like we had a little kink in that path. So you might not have even had that problem. But if you do see something like that, there are some little things that you can do to kind of troubleshoot like why something doesn't have that great edge on it. So it looks like we have everything the way we want it. Using our width tool, we're able to create some nice line width variation. Actually, I want to add just a little bit to the top of his head, just like that. There we go. It looks nice and organic. So in our next lesson, we're going to be creating our own pattern brush.